Hello everyone, I hope you are all doing well and keeping yourself safe. Today we are going to talk about how to make interactive multimedia by using Adobe Animate. So before we go into deeper, today's session will make you learn how to make buttons, interactive media, so you can utilize it on making a website or a game or different interactive multimedia tool. Okay, so we are going to open the Adobe Creative Cloud, and then we are going to open Adobe Animate. So the first thing that we are going to discuss today is the passive multimedia. Okay, so the thing that we are going to do is the passive interactive multimedia applications. So let us wait till the Adobe Animate opens up. So in order to work our way through the interactive multimedia application today, we are going to learn a little bit of scripting as well, so where we can do some coding. So no need to worry about I will let you know the tips and tricks how without writing piece of code still you can make it through with your application or multimedia animation. So what we are going to do is we are going to open a new file. Okay, so first of all you have to decide which type of uh, predefined layout you are going to use, like for example social, game, education, ads, web. Okay, so you have to decide the height and width of your design. Then the frame rate, the thing that you have to be careful over here is that you have to choose ActionScript 3.0, that will be covering your interaction and the coding part. Okay, then you are going to create the application. Okay, so now it is open. So what I'm going to do is I will rename it to main layer. Okay, then I will change the color of the stage a little bit so it will be easier for us to find out. Okay, now I'm going to put some text on my main page. Okay, so this is my main page. Okay, if you want to make it a little bit more bigger, so we can change the size. Okay, I think that is enough. Let's put a little bit more here to make it center. Okay, so now um, let us change the color of this. Okay, so I'm going to create a button, but now it's only a shape, so we need to convert this to a button. Okay, so making it a button, you can go to modify. First you have to select this. Okay, then you can go to modify, convert to symbol, or press F8. Okay, so this is button 1 for example, and here in the type you can choose button or movie clip. So today we are just going to discuss about the button. Okay, previously we were using the graphic theme, but now we are not going to use that. We need a button, so just select button and press OK. Okay, so here comes the concept of object oriented programming. So we have a class, then we have an instance, and then we have different properties and events. Okay, so first thing is this is a class of a button, then we have an instance, so you can change the name of the instance. For example, I will be putting btn1 instance. Okay, if you want you can use color effects, if you want to, it's up to you. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to double click on the button, and now here you can see you are taken into the properties of the button. Here you have 4 properties on the timeline: button up, over, down and hit. Okay, so we are going to change the properties of this by right clicking it and insert keyframe. So just click and make keyframe on all the events. Please remember that you have to insert a keyframe, not a blank keyframe or not a insert frame. You have to put an insert keyframe. Okay, so now we can play up with the properties over here. For example, when we put it on up, okay, so we want to change the color, for example this one. Okay, when we put it on over, okay, so we go and change the color to something else. Okay, and we want to add some text on top of it. Okay, for example, click to page 2. Okay, I want to change the color of this text to maybe black. Okay, now here when I press down, I want to freeform it a little bit here. Same with the hit, I want to make it smaller. Okay, so that's done, so I can go back to my scene. I'm just going to save it so it will be easier for me. Okay, so for example this is my animation. Okay, now if I press Ctrl Enter to see the output, so see here when I click on over to the button, so click to page number 2, and when I click, the size of the button reduced and so on. So this is fine. Now I will go to frame number 5. I will insert a keyframe. Okay, and now over here I will change this to page 2. Okay, so now if I'm going to take the output, so you can see that the loop is going on from main page and page 2 and then coming back to the normal screen, and it keeps on going in the loop. So first we have to stop the loop. Okay, so in order to do that, okay, I'm going to save the file first. Okay, so I'm going to go on the first frame and I right click, and over here you will find actions. Just click on actions. Okay, so this action screen comes over here. Okay, so for the first frame I need to stop, so just type stop. That's it. Same happens with the last frame that I made. I am just going to make it stop. Okay, so you can see that a script is being associated with those frames in your timeline. Now okay, so now we are going to take the output of this. And now you cannot see the looping effect. So now the main page is there, so when I hover on the button, so you can click on page 2 and this thing. So now we have done the basic part. Okay, now what we are going to do is like uh, over here in the action script there is an option that is called code snippet. So I'm just going to click on that. Here you will find the HTML5 canvas and action script. So as we have selected an action script, so I'm just going to collapse this thing. So over here you have actions, timeline navigation, mobile touch events, and so on, depending upon what kind of application you are making. For this one we can use the timeline navigation. Okay, so here you will find different options that you can play with. Okay, so here what happen is stop at this frame, click to go to frame and stop. Okay, click to go to frame and play, and so on. So for this one we can easily use this one, click. Obviously I will be clicking on the button, then go to frame, that is frame number 5, and stop over there. So in order to do that, first click on the button and then you can click on the frame and stop. So when you double click it, you will easily able to see that by default there are some comments that are being available. So that is all for your understanding. Then so button 1 instance, event listener, mouse event click, and so on. There is a function that has been called go to and stop at frame number 5. Okay, in this case I have already chosen frame number 5, so it will go and stop to frame number 5. Maybe if that is the case that you need to go and stop to frame numbers 10 or 15, you can do that one. Okay, so now we are going to again run this and see how it works. So when I click on this page, still it is showing main page. So there might be some mistakes, so we are going to find out. Okay, so see, the problem that I found out is because I am on this frame, okay, and I'm using this frame and stop over here. Okay, so that is why it is not working. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to delete it. Okay, so I'm going to put it on my first screen. Now I'm going to select the button and frame and go, and that's it. And now if I'm going to run this, see, this is now working. So this is how you create an interactive website or any interactive multimedia application in order to do so. Okay, so this is one of the simplest thing, but you can also make text box as a button. Okay, so I'm just going to close this one and make you understand the text box as a button. Okay, so this is, for example, button, home page, page 2. Okay, page 2. Okay, so this is, for example, I'm going to make a button. Okay, so there is a bit complication when you are making a text box as a button, so we are going to understand that complication. Okay, so I'm just going to press F8 to convert it to a symbol. So text button. Okay, same thing I'm going to follow. I'm going to make an instance TBINS. Okay, and now I'm going to double click on it. Okay, so in order to understand the concept, what happened is, let me run this thing. So if you look at it, wherever the text is there, it will be only taken it as a button. If you look at it over here, okay, so the empty spaces are not being considered as a button. So empty space is not considered as a button. So in order to make it as this to happen, what I'm going to do, okay, so I'm just going to double click on this text. Okay, so on it, okay, so I'm just going to create a box. So this is the region where it will be counted as a hit. Okay, so over here, if you look at, it will be counted as a hit area because it is black, so it is okay. So we are just going to take it as, so now you can see that this is a proper button now. So in order to do that, you can make it as a button. So okay, for example, this thing on mouse over, I can change, or you can put some text. You click for page 2. So same thing you can do with this text button. Okay, so on down I can make it a bit smaller. So let's see. So okay, it also this thing. Okay, so this is just to make you understand how it works. So now when I click, so this will work. Same method you can apply. Okay, so on the first screen, just right click, actions, okay, code snippet. Okay, so this thing should be selected, frame and stop. Okay, 5 is there. Now run this thing and you can go to page number 2. So this is how you can make it simple interactive multimedia application. Similarly, you can add different icon images to make the button. Okay, so for that you can go to Google. Flat icon is a famous website from where you can download vector images. Okay, so for example, I will be home button. Okay, so from here you can download tons of different home images. For example, just select anyone. Please remember, when you are doing it, download the PNG image because the background is transparent. If you are going to download different SVG or JPEG images, you will have a background color as well. So better to download the PNG. It works good with the work that you are doing. Okay, so I'm just going to download this PNG file, so you will get an idea when I'm going to put it in my animation. Okay, okay, so now I can go to file, import to library, or you can directly open it and drag it onto your page. That's also fine. Okay, Okay, so I can import it to the library. Okay, so here you will find it in your library. Okay, so here is my button, so I can drag and drop it. Okay, so this button is a bit big, so okay, so the reason I was asking you to do download PNG, see, can you see this area? This is transparent, so it will blend in quite easily with your application. If you're going to download JPEG, so this thing will be having white or any other background. Okay, so in order to do this, same procedure you are going to follow. Press the shift key, so it will look like whatever you are doing. Okay, so for this image you have to do the same procedure as we have done previously. So we are going to press F8 and convert it into a symbol. Oh, sorry, symbol as a button. Convert to button. So H button. Okay, so I'll go to properties, HBINS. Okay, so if I'm going to take the output of this animation, so here we are going to see the same thing as what we found out in the text button. Okay, so only it will be available to the certain portion, so it's up to you. You want to make it as the hit area. Okay, so okay, what I have done, sorry. Okay, so I'm just going to click here. Okay, so I'm going to fill the same color. Previously I used white. Okay, so I'm going to fill up this. Sorry, I had to make it on hit. Okay, so I'm going to make it on hit. Let's see the output. Okay, so now the reason is I haven't made the keyframe, so I'm going to make the keyframe. So on mouse over, I'll make it a little bit smaller. Okay, okay, on mouse over, okay, I'll make it a bit big. Down, I'll make it a bit smaller. Let it be on hit. Okay, so I'm going to make a hit area. Now I'm going to run it. Okay, so now you can see I have more area to cover with this button. Okay, so this is one way of making an interactive multimedia. Okay, so I'm going to save this one. Okay, so this was the simple method of making an interactive multimedia, but there is a problem. See, if you are making too many things, or you are making a website or anything, so you cannot put so many buttons or everything in one place and then going on to another frame, so it will make too much problematic for you. So for that you can use the scene concept. Okay, I'm going to close this one, so that will give you an idea how quickly and easily we can create an animated multimedia using either through frames or scenes, but scenes are much easier to handle. Okay, so my computer is not behaving nicely, so it got stuck, so we have to wait. Okay, so now I'm going to create a new one. Okay, okay, same procedure we are going to follow. Okay, please remember action script is checked. Okay, so what I can do over here, for example, I can create a layout. Okay, so this is my layout one. Okay, I'm just going to create another layout over here. Okay, I will put some text over here. Okay, this is my website, for example. Okay, I'll change the color to black. Okay, so make it in the middle. Okay, so I'll make a few buttons over here. Okay, this will be blue. Okay. Okay, so same procedure I'm going to follow over here. Okay, so this one, for example, I'll make it as button 1. This one will be my button 2. Okay, okay, so for doing that I will go to window, and there is an option that is called scene. Okay, so this is scene window. So scene 1 is already there, you can check it from here. Okay, so I will go to duplicate scene. Okay, you can rename it to scene 2, and I'm going to make another duplication, and that will be scene 3. Simple. Okay, so now this is my scene 1. Okay, so this will be my, for example, I'm going to change it my contact details. This will change it to my profile, for example, or you can do whatever you want to do. Okay, so this is a concept of scene what we are doing in the frame, so it is much easier that we can do it in scenes. So now what we can do is same thing, is we are going to select this one. Okay, so I'm just going to make keyframes. Okay, for up I'm just going to change the color. Okay, for over I'm just going to change to some other color. Okay, and down. I'm just going to change the color. Hit. I'm just going to change to some other color. Okay, so just let me take the output. Okay, so you can see this thing. Okay, now all these are the profile and my contact details all are running. So how we can do that? Okay, so from here we are going to go to options, stop. Okay, so this is the first thing. So when I'm going to see my output, so my website is working. So for the second scene I'm also going to do the same thing. I'm just going to go actions, stop. Similarly for scene number 3, again I'm going to go and make the stop. So this is the first thing that I have done. Okay, so on this one, clicking on this one, I can go to my profile. Okay, so again what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the actions. Okay, then I'm going to take the code snippet. Okay, please remember this is selected. Okay, same timeline navigation, and here you can go to different options, and here you will find click and go to scene and play. So double click on this one. Okay, so now you want to go to scene number 2, not scene number 3. Scene number 2 will be my contact details, so I need to go to scene number 2. So I'll just check if it is working. So when I click here, my contact details will go. Okay, similarly if I click here and I double click on here, then I need to go to scene number 3. So that is fine now. So if I click on here, it will go to profile here. Okay, no profile I haven't set. Similarly you go to your scene number 2. Okay, for this one you can go to home or whatever you want to do. Like for this one I can go and scene number 3. Okay, and if I click on here, this one I can go to scene number 1. Okay, similarly for scene number 2, so if I click here, I can go to scene number 2, and for this one I can go to scene number 1. Okay, so now I can run this one, so I can play with my buttons, and voila. So this is much easier approach than the previous one, but depends upon your liking and the way you want to do, but this is much cleaner way in order to do all the tasks. Okay, so now your task is to make same Muscat or Oman's heritage profiles using first with the frames and then with the scenes. Like we have Muscat, we have Dakhliya, Dhofar, you have Sharqiya, so all these places. So you click on it and you will find some details of that place, the historical place or the monumental places over there in that region. Okay, so that's it for today. So you have learned to make interactive multimedia using buttons, using frames and using scenes. And don't forget to save the file. Okay, so this is animation 2. Okay, so that's it for today. Thanks very much. Take care of yourself.